we're going to go back to 2018 and a collection called Class of 74. Class of 74 says it in the name, 74. It was inspired from the 70s. All right, so in 2018 we found a lot of inspiration in the 70s, clothing, fashion, runway. So me and Gloria saw a yearbook at a flea market and thought, wow, this is really cool, a 70s yearbook with high school kids in there. So that's how we took the pictures. We did a straight on shot, a profile, and then a shot from behind, just to have a little bit quirky, a little bit different. So this is some of the inspiration from the collection. So you can flick through, go on our website and see that. And this is the inspiration what we're going to do today. So, you know, like everyone's been talking about Shag at the moment, you know, still very popular on social media from different brands out there. We did this back in, 2017, ready to do the 2018 collection. We always shoot this collection 6 months ahead of time. So in a way, we're kind of a little bit too early, I feel, creating this kind of shape. There's a lot of companies now who are doing it now. And we've done a modern Shag and some longer versions of this, but this is kind of the inspiration. So opening it up with a fringe, okay, a little bit of a playful kind of fringe, maintaining some length. Looks great on a profile. The wider you go with the front, obviously it looks more like a mullet, give and take. I like this kind of shape, but if you go wider, what does it do? It brings out the features of a client, it brings out a jawline, a cheekbones, a chin, a neck. So, bringing out those kind of assets there. And then, there's another one as well, just to give you. So lots of layering all the way through, maintaining length, and then working with a little bit more of a fringe. So I'm going to take you through this technique. So if you've got a client with a kind of a longer or mid-length shape and she wants to do something a bit different and a bit fresh, then you could do this haircut. It's working into 3 sections, so 3 panels we're going to literally map out. So if I put my client's head down, or my dolly head at the moment, all right, I'm so used to working on real models and stuff, so it's kind of nice for working on a mannequin. So we do the centre parting all the way down. And then we do a large triangle section. So in a way, it's kind of quite deep, the triangle. So it goes right back to the beginning of the crown, or the apex, people call it. All right, so literally just diagonal. How wide do you go with the fringe? Again, how do you want to open up features? Do you want to make it more of a mullet? If you wanted to create this more of a mullet, then what I would suggest is to make the triangle even wider. All right, so then you could come down to even to the side, you could come in front of the ear, you could go to parallel to the ear, you could even go to low recession. So in this case, we're going like more of a lower recession area, and we've literally just made it quite wide. And then through the back area, what we've done is literally going below the crown again to the top of the ear. All right, so it's above the occipital bone, and it's right on top of that kind of crown, and it's going towards the top of the ear. All right, and then we isolate the crown out the way and the sides. So in a way, you've got 3 panels. So if I go on a profile there, you've got 3 panels. You've got 1 at the back, 2, which is your middle section, and then 3, which is your front section. So in a way, you could do this haircut 1, 2, 3, and that's the end of the haircut. And if you get bored with doing this haircut and you think, oh, I've been doing this on everybody, I love it, it's my go-to haircut, then you could do it the opposite way. So you could do 1, 2, 3. All right, so you start in different areas to keep yourself a little bit more creativity. All right, so sometimes it's nice to start with the fringe first instead of the back. In this case, the hair's down at the back, so I'm just going to start with the back area. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a technique called block layering. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure my client's head is upright there, or sturdy. Okay, I'm going to subdivide, so let's go straight into the back so Gloria can see what we're doing. So just subdivide the hair like a centre parting all the way through. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to work on a diagonal. So the section is diagonal, like so. So we're going to work this diagonal. So we're just going to go diagonal about as wide as the comb. All right, so about as wide as the comb, or 2 fingers. And then we're going to elevate this on the base. So it's going to be on the base. All right, so on the base, 90, okay, and then how short do you take this first section? Do you go really short? So your perimeter is your guide. So we want to take something off this length, we want to bring this up a little bit, so we can lift this up and we can decide what sort of length you want to go. So we're going to lift that up and decide what sort of length you want to go it to, and then we'll literally just point cut through, okay, and you decide what sort of length. So on the base, 90, Nice and choppy. Happy with that? Right, before you continue, I want to do the opposite side as well. I want to get this absolutely perfect, my balance. So what I do now, I just carry that through to the opposite side, okay? And then I bring that on the base, all right? And I take a little bit from the middle to keep my guideline. So if you can see, there's my guideline, that short little piece there. And then I just bring that on the base, and then I point cut through for softness. And my point cutting, as you can see, is quite random as well. You can even go over the same pieces as well, make it really, really choppy. All right. The trick is when you're point cutting is always leave it a little bit away from your fingers. Otherwise, we can point cut our finger instead of the hair. All right. And then once you've done that and you've gone all the way down to the actual hairline, you can obviously have a sneaky check of your balance. This is reassuring for a customer in the chair to see you check balance. And then what you're going to do now, we're going to go back and we'll just basically just re-establish that side. Alright, so we'll just push that side out the way. We don't need it for now. Alright, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to concentrate on this side instead. Alright, so actually I'm going to comb this down. And then what we'll do, we'll just literally work on a diagonal. And this is called block layering. And why it's called block layering is because we're going to cut it in a block. So you do the first section on the base. And now all the rest of the hair from underneath travels. So it's travelling up to this guideline. Okay, so it's travelling. So you comb in from underneath, and now you literally see the guideline and you're point cutting through. Alright, and then what you'll do now, you'll literally grab all the rest of the hair as well, comb in from underneath. The trick is to comb all the hair from underneath. So it's going longer and longer towards the perimeter, because the client's likes are maintain some length. She doesn't want to have a very short haircut. So we over direct all the hair up to this stationary guideline and we point cut through square. Okay, so it all comes up to this guide, and then once it's done, okay, so you literally brought all that out there, then you comb that down to its natural form, and then you can start to see you've maintained maximum length. We can bring this length up even a little bit more. So if you wanted to, you could even cross check this. So you can cross check, and what you'll see is going longer to shorter. So it's longer to shorter. So it's longer and then it's shorter. It's shorter and then longer. All right, all the way through. So it's shorter internally and longer through the perimeter. Okay, so if you want to cross check this vertically, you're looking for a shorter piece at the top and a longer piece at the bottom, creating kind of like a reverse graduation, you could even say. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. Alright, so on the opposite side now, we'll just split this into like 2 sections. Depending on the density of the hair is how many sections you take. So if you're working this technique on really, really thick hair, then just take more sections so you see your guideline. If you're working on fine hair, then you can take less sections. Okay? So in this case, I'm working on a finer density with our dolly head, so that I can see the guideline nice and clear. So I can get away with like 3 sections. 1 section to place the guide in, and then the other 2 now just literally travelling. So we're literally travelling everything up to this guide. So everything is over directing, so combing from underneath, and everything's coming up to this stationary guideline. So we're maintaining length. And that's why it's called block layering, because you're cutting in a block. It's a quick way of removing weight, okay? Because how do we remove weight in hair? How do we remove, like, someone says, look, my hair is really heavy. The best way to remove that is layering, okay? So this is called block layering. So I literally work 1 section as the guide, and in a way you could literally pull all the rest of the hair up to that stationary guide in one go, and it's created a block. All right, and that's why it's called block layering. But if you find like I can't see the guideline, take an extra couple of sections just to travel up. So what you're looking for here is a square line. So it's square, okay, on the base, and then all the hair is traveling up. And then if you're, like I said earlier, if you like to cross check, you can literally just go through quickly just to cross check, and you will see shorter to longer. So instead of cutting this technique vertically and doing maybe about 6 or 7 sections vertically, going short to long, short to long, short to long, you could just literally just go guideline, square, and pull all the hair up. So it's a quicker and faster and cleaner approach. Okay, so once you've done that and it's all completed, all right, then what we'll do, we'll just grab all that hair, we'll twist it out the way for now, and then we'll work on to our second section. Okay, so I don't want to cut any of that, so I just want to put a little cheeky clip in there, and then literally now we go into our second section. So like we said earlier, the second section now is going to be through the middle of the crown. And what we're going to create here now, we'll just put a client upright. Okay, and we're going to go right through the centre. Centre profile section, a mohawk section, whatever you prefer to call it. But it's literally right through the middle. So about, I always say about an inch, about as wide as the comb or 2 fingers. Right, and write a really nice strong guideline, and then just comb that hair down, comb that hair away, and you're just focusing on the middle, okay? And how short do you take your layering on the crown, okay? Because we've got the hairline through the sides here, this is going to be our best friend, or the top of the ear. Grab the hair at the top of the ear, yeah? And then you over direct it, and you can see I can't go any shorter than this hair now in my fingers. So I can't go any shorter than that. If the client said I want to go shorter, I want to go more volume, I want to create more texture, and I want shorter layers, then you would literally change the sectioning pattern. Or what you would do is you'd over direct even more. So instead of over directing the hair into the middle, like we are going to do, you might come off the base and over direct even more to maintain more length and weight within that perimeter. So take those kind of tips in there for, you know, just for ideas. So in this case, we don't want to go really that short anyway. So what we're going to do is literally going to go in and we're going to be maintaining the length. All right, so we're going to be maintaining the length. We're going to over direct everything. We're going to be on the base and we're going to follow the head shape. Okay, so we're going to follow the head shape. So the technique here is called rounded graduation, round layers. So it's going to be a layer and it's rounded to the head, so it's rounded. So you're just literally just working everything out on the base. Okay, so on the base, literally working through. So everything 90. So 90, like so. All right, so if you can see, that's literally just working 90, 90, and then that top bit just at the top there, just get that 90 as well. So just that little corner there. All right, so it's a 90 all the way around, following the head shape. I call that a round layer. Everyone has different terminology for that, but it's just straight off the base at 90, following the head shape. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pull all the hair into the middle. All right, so literally what we're going to do now, we're going to just work parallel to that parting, slightly diagonal, and all the hair now is going to travel into the middle. Okay, so what's really important is to keep an eye on your posture. So in this case, I'm going to stand on the opposite side and I'm going to pull all the hair into the middle. All right, so I'll pull all the hair into the middle. Okay, so I stay on the opposite side and I literally pull all the hair into the middle section to maintain a longer shape through the sides. Because like we've said, the client wants to maintain some length. So I'm over directing, so it's going to be a little bit longer. So for anybody who's watching there now, it's going to be like a concave layer. Okay, so it's getting over directed, all the hair into that point. So literally working through, making sure that you're just combing within that second section. So it's really important to make sure that your fringe is clipped up still and your nape is clipped up, and then you're just literally combing within that second section. All right, and then you're just over directing all that hair to that stationary guideline. And what you really should be looking out for is hardly any hair coming off that last section. If you got to this last section and there was loads of hair coming off, it means you've not over directed enough and you might cut too much off the perimeter. All right, so it's really important to make sure that you stand on the opposite side of your client and you pull the hair towards your body. Also, what you've got to take into consideration, if you're over directing hair to you, then you also got to keep an eye on your client's head positioning. Because if you get a little bit heavy-handed, for example, and you start to over direct the hair into the middle, and you don't look in your mirror, say I had a mirror here now, I'd look, and your client's head was offset, that means one side's going to be longer than the other because, you know, the client's head position has moved. So it's probably great that you can start to see the angle as well on a profile, on a straight on. So we've seen it on a profile, but now like you see me straight on, you can see where that's over directing to. All right, and then I just grab the rest of the hair there, working through. And because I'm working with a lot of hair, I'm working with the larger teeth of the comb. All right, so I'll just work with the larger teeth of the comb and then it just glides through, bringing it all back there like so, and it goes into the middle. And then just to show you on a profile before we cut it, so literally on the profile there, you can just see, and it's just doing 90 to over directed, working, following the head shape, all rounded. Okay, so we're really happy with the actual shape there. We'll just do a little bit of point cutting. All right, and then you can just drop that down. And then this is your moment of truth as well, just to check your balance. You know, as we all know, long-haired clients or clients who want to maintain some length in the hair, they always get maybe a little bit nervous when you cut in maybe the layers first. So what we're doing here is we're literally working with, what we're doing a little bit here now is we'll just literally bring everything out and just bring it back to me, just to check the balance, check the balance. Check the balance, and then if you're happy with that, then you can bring it up and let the client see the balance. So you can bring it up and check your balance in front of the mirror and in front of the client. This is a great confidence builder. If your client is brand new to you, she's never had a haircut from you before, she's a bit wary of like cutting the layers too short, you just pick it up and you just check your balance like that. Okay, and it's a good confidence builder. Right, so that's 2 sections down, all right? So you've obviously done your block layering through the back, you've done your little inversion, all right? So you've inverted all the hair into the middle to create a little bit more of a rounded shape with a concave. What you could do now, you could take these clips out, just from the underneath, and then we'll drop that down, and then there you have your 2 disconnected panels, but they don't look disconnected. They just visually now all blend in, and then you have a really nice little shape coming through. You don't have a shelf, so look, if I shake that out like that now, got a really nice layering pattern all the way through. And then this is where you decide what sort of length you want to take off. So I'm just going to go down, and because it's layered, yeah, because look, if I pick that the crown up anywhere from the crown, as you can see, look, it doesn't reach any of the perimeter. So what I'm trying to say, this is a creative haircut. So it's basically working internally first. So if you work your layers first, then you can be a little bit faster when you do your detail on your perimeter. All right, if I cut all the outline now first, then I go back in and cut the layers, you don't realise, but I'm cutting some of the hair twice. So what I'm trying to say is, how do you get more faster, more confident behind the chair with different shapes? Maybe layer the hair first. Work internally first, and then once you've done this, then you can obviously then go into the outer edge later. Okay, because clients can change their mind. She might turn around and say, look, can I take another inch off the length? Can I take a few more? I've decided that I don't mind going a bit shorter. And you're like, okay, but if you cut that first, she's got no choice because it's on the floor. All right, once hair's on the floor, that's it. All right, so I think sometimes it's nice to have an optional length. And an optional length is basically working the layering first, and then you've got an option of how short you want to take that outer edge. All right, that's the overall length finish with. You could again do this a lot shorter. You could work this technique in like a bob shape. So if you've got a client who's got like a bob, shoulder length, longer hair, you could do this technique for. Ideal for all hair types. I would say it's really good for like that kind of finer density. And why I say that is because finer hair is always weaker through the front. And what you're doing here, you're over-directing the hair into the middle. So this temple area is getting heavier and heavier and thicker. So it's going to be really good for like that more of a finer density of hair client. All right, so I'm pretty happy what we've got going on. So it's just our last section now. All right, our last section for the haircut. And we'll just literally just clip out just behind that kind of triangle section, and we'll work a fringe. All right, so a bang, a fringe, whatever you want to prefer to call it. All right, and we just comb that down, and you can see there's plenty of length on there. And how short you take it comes down to your suitability. Bringing out the features of a client. In a way, as a hairdresser, we don't realise, but it's amazing how we can change someone's face shape by going shorter through the front, adding a fringe, a sweepy fringe, some shape. But in a way, you feel like a plastic surgeon because you're really bringing out the good assets. All right, so in this case, we want to work on something like a little bit more of a concave fringe. It was really happening, and a lot of people like this still to this day. We did this back in 2018, and I still feel like people are starting to do it now. So I feel like we're well ahead of the game when we have that kind of technique going on. All right, so I'll split this into 3 sections. Okay, simple as that. So if I split it into 3, so you can see that, and we just twist them out the way. So you've got your 3 sections within your triangle. You've got a centre section as wide as the comb, all the way through the centre, and then you've got a piece on either side. All right, so there's 3 sections. And what we're going to do here, we're going to bring everything into the middle. But I want it to be more like a Brigitte Bardot fringe. I want it to be more flicky. All right, so I wanted it to be really 70s inspired. All right, so how do I get the flick? Instead of just being like straight across like a bang, or going a little bit more rounded in a way, I wanted it more flicky on the side. So I thought, how do I keep more flick? So I'm going to show you, it's literally creating more over direction. All right, so the first section, what we're going to do here is we're going to bring it forward. Okay, so head is upright. What's the best way to show you? I'll grab the piece in the middle, all right, and then what I'll do is I'll go on a profile again, so then you start to see the shape how I'm going to cut it, because I'm going to cut it straight, okay? I'm not going to cut it off the head at 90. If you're working on thicker hair and you've got someone with really loads of hair, then I would say the elevation here would be 90. If you're working on finer hair, then drop it down a little bit more. The closer the face, the stronger the shape will be. The further away from the face, the softer you're going to be. So in this case, what we're going to do, we're just going to bring it coming forward, and we'll just cut that square. Okay, so decide on the length what you want to go for. Okay, so just point cutting for softness. Okay, so you're bringing it all forward, and you're creating a square shape like that. Nice and choppy as well. Maybe even do a little bit of slicing the length away as well. Drop that down, and then just see what sort of length it is. If that's a little bit too long, then you can go in and cut a bit more off. I'm just going to cut a little bit more off. I don't want to get carried away though, because like we said before, we're doing 14 haircuts in 14 days, and we just want to make sure that we don't cut all these mannequins too short, that we're using 14 mannequins over the period of time. So what we'll do, we'll just literally decide on that sort of length. If you've got curly hair and stuff like that, you would obviously look and see if this is going to bounce and jump. If you're a little bit scared of obviously cutting the hair or the fringe when it's wet, maybe what I suggest to do is maybe blow dry this triangle. So you could blow dry this triangle and cut it dry, so then you've got a little bit more option there. Right, so you've done your guideline in the middle. So what you're going to do now, you're going to grab one side, and you're going to stand on this side, on the opposite side, and you're going to do like an inversion, or like bringing everything into a stationary guideline. So you can see the guideline pretty clear there, and that's going into the middle. But if it goes into the middle, I'm not going to get it as flicky as I wanted it to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go past the head shape. So in a way, it looks like I'm wrapping around the head. So I'm literally going to wrap it over like so, and I'm going to cut it basically on the other side of the head. All right, and then I'm just going to literally point cut through there. So in a way, look, just to recap that, you just literally grab the hair, and then I wrap it round, and I cut it straight still, but on the opposite side of the head. So there's more over direction, okay? Now what I do, this is where you don't want to switch off. You want to make sure that you re-establish the guideline, and then this bit of hair has been cut. Because if you start to comb this over and wrap it round and start to add this into it, you will cut this length off. We don't want to cut this length off. So look, we just twist that out the way. Okay, it's been cut. Change my body, I'm on this side now. And I'm going to over direct all the hair. And I'm going to wrap it over like so. So if it makes sense, if I pick this up now and chop that off, what have I got? An asymmetric fringe. You know, I've just basically cut all that side off. So what the trick is to not cut that side. So you're literally over directing, wrapping it round the head. See the guideline, nice and clear. your point cut through. That's that technique finished. All right, then you bring that down, and what you'll start to see is short to long. Okay, shorter in the middle, longer on the outer edge, longer on the outer edge. What we'll want to do then, you just want to tidy up that perimeter. So if I comb this down, straight down in front of the client, you will see a short piece in the middle. Yeah, and what we want to do, we want to make sure it just connects a little bit. So it has a little corner of weight, and I want to get rid of it, that little corner. So in a way, I'm just going to cut the outline now. So I'm just going to bring it in front of the face, and I'm going to maintain that long bit there, because that's the over direction, but I'm just going to knock off a little tiny corner just in the middle. Okay, so just in the middle there, I'll just knock off that corner, and I leave all the length on the outer edge. So basically it's going from shorter to, it's going from longer to shorter. So it's longer to shorter, and then I'll just do exactly the same now. You can see just that little, there we go, perfect. Keep the length. See there's a little bit in here there, just take that little bit of a corner away, fold down my finger, and there you go, perfect. All right, and then I get that nice little flick. All right, I get that nice little 70s flick. And then personally, if you want to go shorter than this, you can do. You know, again, it's judgment, suitability, lifestyle of your client. All right, so what I'll do now is take the clips out, and literally you've done 3 sections in this haircut. So a section through the back, a section through the top, and then a little section through the fringe. All right, and then literally just shake it all out. And basically this haircut's a shag. All right, we came up with this haircut back in 2018. Took some inspiration from the 70s, which was a really popular haircut from the 70s, was a shag. The shag is all about having shorter layers. So a shag is all about having texture, volume, short layers, very messy. You know, certain iconic people like Patti Smith is really a great icon to share with, like a shag, things like that. You know, you've seen a lot of people doing razor cutting with shags. And then, you know, if you wanted to go even shorter, you want to take it even shorter than that and make it even a bit more aggressive with your shag, you're more than welcome to. And then I'll just go into the middle, and I'm just going to get these just to wing out a little bit. Okay, I just love all the length and the texture coming through. But you know, the blow dry is honestly up to you. How you want to, if you wanted to go for something a bit more natural, did you want to just use your diffuser? Would you use your fingers? Would you use a brush on this and let the fringe flick out a little bit more? You know, you could get a little round brush and then just flick those out a little bit more. Again, all that is all detailing. What you see and what I see are always going to be a little bit different. You know, some of you might really, you know, want it to, you know, have a bit more texture in there, a bit shorter, stuff like that. But that's kind of the overall feeling of what we wanted to go for. Back from our collection, which was class of 74. All right, so just to give you a little recap on this haircut, this is the kind of the shape what we've worked on. You can go on our website at edge74.com and see the actual past collections. This is a haircut called the Shag. It's from 2018, class of 74. Works with like a kind of a concave fringe, Bridget Bardot kind of feeling to it. Short layers internally. The wider you go with the fringe, then the more mulletty it could look if you wanted to. And then you could do it something like that as well. So just to recap, just quickly, it's block layering through the back. So 90, over directing all the hair to that stationary guideline. It's a round layer through the top and pulling all the hair into the middle to create a little bit of a concave. And then through the front area, we just literally worked on a little bit more of a kind of Bridget Bardot little fringe coming through. So the more you over direct, the more you maintain that kind of length through the front. All right, but hope you like it. It's been great to share with you another haircut. Check out our Facebook, social media sites, YouTube for more haircuts. Thank you.